All right. Well, I know who's going to get all the good gigs. It's everybody who's over here right now getting set up. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have such a fantastic day that is already packed and set for you today. It's really exciting. I want to mention some of the sponsors this year. And these sponsors are especially important because when you do a conference for the very first time, you don't really have anything to go on except for something that you believe in. Something that John really believed in and he wanted and asked others for support. So the first founding sponsors are really the ones that really give the boost, the rocket fuel to really get this thing going. So we want to be a big thanks for Insperity, HPZ Marketing, and Flourish. Flourish is a sponsor as well. They're an all-in-one finance platform to simplify financial management. Also, Colab is a sponsor. Fractional Digital, Voyager U, Randy Hopner Photography. He does such amazing commercial photos. Your go-to guy. Innovative Management Tools, the assessment that you took. They're one of the sponsors for us. And if you have not picked up your copy of your assessment for your thinking style, make sure you do that right over there. And of course, to this fabulous venue, Finnegan's. Wow, it's amazing. A tap room in the basement. This upstairs, I don't think we could have a better place. No, this might have to be our home here forever and ever. Okay, so now at this time, what I'm going to ask everyone to do is to bring the conversation down and bring your focus and attention up here. Do it right up here. Because I'm going to start talking about the really important stuff. So, how many folks found yesterday to be really inspiring? Yeah, right? Yeah, last night I had so many things going through my mind as I was thinking about this. What are some things that inspired you about yesterday? Just shout them out. Synergy. What else inspired you yesterday? Opportunity. Tactical advice. Yes, right? It was really actionable. Thought leadership, community, yeah. Getting out of your comfort zone, right? Yes, stretching yourself a little bit. Doing videos in your pajamas. Yeah, that'll be something for all of us to try, won't it? It's like, all right, I'm doing this video from the bathtub because I'm supposed to get out of my comfort zone. Please forgive me in advance, right? It is inspiring. Here's what's really, really unique about what is happening and what we're doing. This is, sure, it's a first conference, but this is atypical. This is unusual, right? Because we're not here for something that has been established and been around for a long time. We're here to be better consultants. We're here to be better fill in the blank, as any other industry conference may be. We're actually gathering and coming together as folks who are working in a space, in a structure, under a title that has only existed for a few years. And we have a much larger opportunity as a community here together than just, is this a gig I want to do or not? And the reason this is a much bigger opportunity is because we collectively get to define it. And there's a consequence if we collectively don't define it. And anybody who's had, who's a coach would know this about defining it, right? Coaching has been gradually defined over years, but its initial definition is what? Like a basketball coach or Little League or whatever, right? When I tell people, I don't say I'm a coach anymore, because they say, what sport? I'm like, the sport of talking. And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, that's okay, neither do I, so we're all good. But this is something that we get to shape, and that's why We put so much emphasis on the relationships that you're making in this room, getting involved in the community at Voyager U, getting involved in Frac Nation, getting involved in these groups, because you're going to be getting involved in the discussion of what does this look like for a professional, fractional, fill in the blank, CMO, CFO, whatever that role would be. And what we get to decide is we get to decide what are the boundaries, what is the pay, what is the frequency, what does that look like? Because if we don't design it, industries will design it for us. And we're in a much better position to define it. In fact, as individual entrepreneurs and business owners, which is what you become when you become fractional, if you're not defining it, you're walking in and setting yourself up for projects that you may not want to deliver, or may not be set up to be what you want it to be or look like or scope right, by giving into whatever it is that they want to do. It's about coming in as the leader and sitting eye to eye with the other leader and saying, let's collaborate as peers and come up with a solution together and get this worked out and figured out and work collaboratively this way. This is not applying for a job. This is coming in as the CEO of your own concern, to speak to the CEO of the next concern, to say, I've got something for you, I can support you, but we have to put this in some boundaries and make this work and be win-win for both of us. And take the lead on that conversation. We have to do it individually, and we have to do it collectively. And the way that we're going to do it collectively is at conferences like this, it's in our online groups, it's in our conversations and in our support of each other. Because the shape of this, the integrity of this, the look of this, how good of an opportunity this is or not, is up to us, and up to us this week, not sometime in the future. Because sometime in the future, if we don't, someone else will define what it is to be a fractional professional. So this is an unprecedented opportunity for everyone in here. There's also something else that is really important about bringing yourself into a community, and a community of peers that are doing similar work as you. And that is the generative quality of having others generate you. In all the coaching that I've done over the years, one of the things that I've really noticed is when I see people that come out of a long corporate career and they move into a space where they are hanging out their own shingle, they are their title and their business owner because they say they are, and they're going out to promote themselves, even though they've had a long, distinguished career, they've made an incredible income, they're respected and revered, they start feeling really insecure about themselves. They start to really doubt themselves. This thing called imposter syndrome starts creeping in. And why is that? What is that? And even for the folks that I talk to that experience this, it's like, why is this happening? This shouldn't be happening. I never felt this at work. Here's the thing. We're all reflections of each other. When we're in a work and organization environment, you are in an environment for agreement for whatever you are. You're in an environment for agreement for the position that you hold, for the status you hold, for the power you hold. You're in an organization, in a group of people that is in agreement of that. And that is incredibly generative. It's incredibly confidence boosting. It's incredibly generative. Now, fast forward, you're on your own. You go to work. You walk into the living room. You sit down in your chair and pull out your laptop. You're in your office. Your dog likes you, but that's not the same. It's not the same. And so, yeah, we can talk about marketing and strategies and negotiation and all that kind of thing, but who you bring to that meeting, when you walk tall, being who you say you are because you say you are that person, is what seals the deal at the end of the day. And what generates that is being in a really powerful community like the one that we're in right now. And this is a community. We decided, we said so. Liz said, we're a community. We're going to be a community. For 2 days, we're going to be a community. And it's up to us to see, are we going to continue being a community when we leave here? In the interest of our own interests, in our professional and financial interests, in the interests of a new industry, a new genre. I don't know what we call this, but we get to call it. In connection with each other, and then there's just the incredible gratification of being able to be connected with other people who are doing similar work as you. And then lastly is your pocketbook. And that is your greatest source of new clients is all the people that you know in this room and in the fractional community will be the biggest source, because we're all in a high trust business. Really high trust. So I invite you to keep buzzing in the hive, keep making connections, and be proactive about being involved and vocal and listening and engaged in the communities that are available here and ready to support you, and also ready to be supported by you when you come in. Oh my gosh, today is going to be such an amazing day. We have such great stuff coming up. We're going to be looking at current challenges that business owners have with fractional executives. Like, what are the challenges? What are getting away? What are the boundaries? What's working and what's not working? We're going to be looking at and learning about how to, how to keep going when it seems like everything's changing every moment, every minute. We're going to be talking about growth strategies so that when you're like building your business, you're not just saying yes to everything or just chasing whatever looks good. You're being strategic about it and intentional about it. It's difficult to scale when you're one. There's not that much to multiply. We're going to be talking about compensation and negotiation. We're going to be hearing more really inspiring founder stories to give us some really great perspective. And so it's going to be a fantastic day, and I'm really, really excited about all of it, and I hope you are too. So, the last thing I want to mention before I bring up our first speaker is there's a QR code on your name tag. And that QR code is your ability to leave feedback for the presenters. We really want that feedback because this is the first annual, and we want to make this better, more relevant. We want to really, really serve you, okay? There's also another link on there when you hit that, and that's a link to buy tickets for next year. Here's my invitation. If we're a community, I invite you to bring someone else into the community. You're going to be meeting a lot of other people like you come next year. And I invite you to buy 2 tickets. All right? We made a great deal. We did a really great deal on the price. And this will help us procure more sponsors, make this bigger, better. And it will be an act on your part to say, yes, I'm putting a stake into this community, and I am going to contribute to it in this way because next year will be our reunion. When we'll be able to come back and go, oh my gosh, look at what's happening now. Some of you sitting out there will be up here talking about what you've learned and what you've seen and you're sharing. So hit that QR code, give us that valuable feedback, and we'll look forward to that. Now, are you ready for your first presenter? All right, awesome. Raise your hand, right hand. Excellent. Raise your left hand. Excellent. Raise your right hand. Great. When she asks you a question, that's what you do. Pick on me. I want to ask or answer it, all right? Let's lean in. Let's get engaged, and let's show our presenters some love. They'll give you even more. Our first presenter today is a coach and speaker who inspires leaders to discover who they are and how they're meant to shine their light on the world. Her experience is met with compassionate insight and comes to life through unforgettable workshops, tools, and life-changing connections that provides the catalyst and coaching to help leaders unleash their potential. Everyone, give a big FRAC 2023 welcome to Tiffany Madden!
I don't need that. Oh, thank you, though.
That's right, you don't. I'll keep my mic.
Good morning, good morning. I want to know from the group right away if anybody in the last 5 years has experienced significant change. How many of you would say some of that change was sort of hard? I'm totally with you. But how many of you can also see that something about what happened actually was good. Good. So this last 5 years for me personally has been constant change. And here's a little bit of my journey just to get us set up to talk about this important conversation, which is about the only constant is change. Things are changing in our business, things are changing at home. There's no way out of it. And unless you guys have figured out, like, is there some magic wand that you can wave and like everything will stop changing? I have not found it. I also have not found the fountain of youth. So if anybody here has found those two things, I want to know about it. But for me, in these last 5 years, at the end of 2018, I took the opportunity to be laid off. That sounds like a weird thing. From Thomson Reuters. I'd been there for 25 years, my whole working life, and decided to step out into the world. I didn't know I was fractional until last night. So now I'm just going to claim that as my own. I'm claiming it. So I started There She Grows about 5 minutes before the pandemic started. I wouldn't recommend kicking off a business January 25th of 2020, but I survived. I'm still here, still doing the work. And I also turned 50, which that just kicked my butt, if I'm being honest. Like, it's not 40. If you haven't gotten there yet, just trust me that 50 is different than 40. I also launched my children to college, so I'm now a new empty nester. I have a 24-year-old son who graduated from St. John's, and I have a 21-year-old daughter, Annika, who is a senior at St. Ben's. So not only am I putting all of my financial resources into this college phase, but all of these things have been happening at once. And I have to be honest, it's been really hard. It's been hard on me, and I didn't know what it was going to be like to run my own business during a pandemic with an empty nest, sitting there, as Jason said, with my dog every day. Like, it's me and my dog, right? So it's been different, and it's been a challenge. But what I know and what I want to talk about today is how do we prepare for it? So how can we, as leaders, get ready for what we know is going to be true, which is just the changing of the world and changing of life? So I'm going to use the sturdy old oak tree to help make this point. So when things are changing, the most important thing that we can have is a strong foundation. So when you think of a tree, it can handle the storms, it can shed its leaves, it can grow them back, it can do all of these things because of the strong base that it has. So in this next hour, I want to talk about tools and ideas and tips for how do we build that base so that we're ready when change happens. Okay. So to get us started, though, there's something super important I need you to have in your toolbox at all times. And it's a lifesaver, and I'll tell you more about that in a second. So we're gonna try this out, but if you didn't know it already, you have access to your breath, which is your ability in any moment, any day, any time to calm yourself down. So I'm going to teach you a very simple way that you can access calm from anywhere. So let's try this out. I want you to put your feet on the floor. If you're holding on to something, I want you to put it down. And here's what I want you to think about. So really get your foundation built. I want you to think about, this is called a box breath. And what it is it's a 4-second inhale, followed by a 4-second pause, a 4-second exhale, and then another 4-second pause. So we're going to try this out, okay? We're going to do 3 box breaths. And you can close your eyes or you can find a place to look with your eyes, whatever's most comfortable for you. But I want you to try this out. So a 4-second inhale. Pause at the top. Exhale for 4. And hold at the bottom for 4. I want you to cycle through that 2 more times. And then just take a second and check in with your body. Check in with your shoulders. Are you holding any tension here? Check in with your neck. Maybe even stretch it out a little bit if you need to. But just kind of release that down and just think about letting it down and really arriving, using that breath to come back to center. I was teaching this concept last fall at a conference, and I got a message about 3 weeks later from a guy that we did this exact same thing. He learned the box breath, and he got into a medical situation by himself at home, had to call 911, and he actually used the box breath to remain calm until the ambulance arrived. So it is a tool for you to have in your toolbox to be able to bring yourself down at any time and come back to yourself, come back to your breath. So it's built in. Everybody has it. Okay, so that was where I wanted to start, just to get us together, get us here. The next thing I want to do is I want to check in on another concept. So when you think of well-being, so like the roots of that tree, the base, the foundation of who you are is rooted in your wellness, in your well-being. And well-being is defined as the state of being comfortable, healthy, or happy. So there's 8 elements to well-being: nutrition, movement, emotional, social, spiritual, intellectual, sleep, and play. So if you have something to write with, I want you to find something, pen and paper. We're going to do a quick little check-in here. So here's the scale. So I'm going to ask you 8 questions, and I want you to assess on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being this needs work, 10 means I'm killing it, like I've got this, okay? So I'm going to ask you these 10 questions. You're going to write down the numbers on your paper, 1 through 8. And I should have said this sooner, but I want you to know that all of you that are snapping pictures, this is coming to you. I'm going to give you a QR code. I want you to have all these resources. So the slides aren't going to be there, but all of the assessments, everything I talk about today is in a PDF for you, and I'll give you the QR at the end. So you don't have to do all the, you don't have to take pictures if you don't want. Okay, so number 1, nutrition. Am I fueling my body with nutritious foods daily? 1, no, absolutely not. On a scale up to 10, you're killing it. Now here's the other thing about this little quick thing. This is quick. What you're feeling right now might be different tomorrow. That's okay. We're just doing a quick check-in. Number 2, movement. Am I moving my body? Scale of 1 to 10. Number 3, emotional. Am I aware of how I'm feeling? Number 4, social. Do I have a feeling of inclusion and belonging? This one took a hit during the pandemic, so we're kind of coming back on that one. Number 5, spiritual. Am I connected to meaning and purpose? Number 6, intellectual. Am I learning and growing? This one's tough. Number 7, sleep. Am I getting enough rest? And number 8, do I make time for creativity and play? So I want you to do a little math. I want you to add up your number, see where you're at. Now, before I show you the results from this and where you kind of fit in, I want you to reserve, I want you to not judge yourself. If I was standing up here and you started feeling bad about yourself because of this 8 questions, that would be counterproductive. So I want you to release judgment. We're just checking in, because any sort of change, getting ready for it, requires you to at least notice it. We're just in the state of noticing where we're at and taking a second to pause. Okay, does everybody have their number? Got your number? Everybody feel like they got their number? Okay. So if you can see this, I'll read it. So at the top is 72 to 80. So people who are at this level of well-being, you are at your best. Keep up the great work. You're taking amazing care of yourself. And what I love about this level, this high of a level, is that you can lead and inspire others to follow your attention to well-being. In this 56 to 71, you're holding steady and you're taking care of yourself. But are there some areas that you could stand to maybe turn up a little bit in making sure that you keep and maintain these higher levels? The okay range is 40 to 55. You are dangerously close to running out of gas. So this is getting kind of a little bit, your battery's low. There may be some areas that you want to really check into and really give some attention to. What will drive the greatest improvement for you right now? And then below 40, I had a woman not that long ago that was a 20, and it's just like, if your check engine light was on, how many of you would drive your car to the auto shop if you were getting an oil light on your car? My son, it happened. My son had that happen and drove around for like a month without telling us. That car's dead. But so below 40, so this is like your tank is empty. So what actions can you take to increase your well-being? Your self-care and well-being need attention. And ask for support. Who can actually help you address some of these well-being concerns? Okay. So when you think, here's a question. So if your cell phone right this second was on 1% battery, how many of you would be a little itchy in your seat right now? How many of you give better attention to your cell phone than you do to yourself? Just got to get honest for a second. So here's what I want to encourage you to do. So I want you to look at your number. I want you to just notice what's there. And then I want you to turn to the person that's closest to you, close by, and I just want you to talk about it. What do you make of it? What are you noticing about your number? Just like a 2-minute chat with your neighbor about your number, and I'll put this back up so you can see what the different areas were. Take 2 minutes, chat with your neighbor about it. Okay.
I'm on an island right
Okay.
now. Yeah.
How'd you do?
Yeah. My number was a 32. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, John. Go right up to the top. Yeah.
All right, stop. Stop. Raise your hand if you can hear me. Raise your hand if you can hear me. Stop. John just said to me, you'll never get him back if you let him talk. Prove him wrong, prove him wrong. Okay, let's keep going because I want to keep us moving through some additional ideas. Quickly though, anybody willing to just make a quick comment about what they took from that assessment? Anybody willing to share? Go ahead.
One thing we discussed is the fact that this group, we're all high achievers, and our three of us chatting, we're like, oh, I thought I'd be better than that.
Oh, okay. You wanted to get an A and you didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for your honesty. Go ahead.
One thing we were chatting about was if you do great in a lot of the sections and you have one score that's just pathetically low, it really drags you down.
Yes. So did you guys hear that? So overall, in the 8 scores, if there's one that's really low, maybe you're not sleeping, that's going to drag down your overall number. But I would argue that sleep is foundational. Talk about the roots of your system and of your existence. If that is not on, then the rest of it feels a little bit wilty and a little bit frayed. Go ahead.
This has always been true for me. I'm bad at like fun, social, because I'm an introvert. But then I think I overcompensate with the things I can control well, like movement and food. Like I'll get crazy control freak over that. So those are like not
Okay.
and I get these ones are really
Okay.
I can't fix those.
Lean into your strengths. So she was saying that like she's more inclined to do the things she can do well, but her fun number and her play number is low. Okay, one more.
There's a bit of a calibration involved as well, because like I rated my social at an 8, even though I'm not a very social person, because it is enough for me.
Yeah, if it's enough, right? You have to decide what the right number is for you. Okay, let's keep going. I could literally, next year, I need 2 hours, John, next year. We could do this for a long time though, too. So think about your cell phone. Am I tending better to the battery of my cell phone than my own personal battery? So what do you need to do to plug yourself in and give it the same level of attention that you're giving to your phone? Which is really sad, but that's okay. That's okay. Okay, so we had the conversation. So when you think of those numbers, half is 40, right? 40 was the halfway point. So if you think of an automobile, when an automobile has a full tank of gas, when it's at half or better, it is running at peak performance. When the gas starts to get low, then things aren't operating at their best. They're not operating at peak performance. So you're the same. So when your numbers get below 40, you're actually not at your best. And so giving that attention to get yourself at least half or better gets into a higher performing state. Got it? All right. You know this. I mean, you can't serve the world if you don't get yourself that level of well-being first. You've heard this a million times. That's nothing new. But think about how do you fill your own cup so that we can serve. All of you are here to serve. How do we get that right for ourselves so that we can give to others? Okay, so there's another concept that I want to jump into. And before I do, though, quick question. What is the number one reason why people do not tend to their well-being? Time, right? I don't have time to take care of myself. So I want to give you the opportunity to say no more often by teaching you a quick thing. So I want you to bring to mind something that is a hell yes for you. Like you know in your heart, your soul, your body that it is a yes. Bring that to mind for a second. Like just bring the feeling of yes, yes, yes to your body. Where do you feel that in your body? When you think of like, this is a yes, that thing, where do you feel it? Chest for you? Heart? Anybody else? Where do you feel this like yes energy? Gut? Okay, down, okay. Anybody else, different spot? Say again. Throat. I thought she said groin. I was like, sorry. It's legit, but I just okay, so yes, you got your yes. You're connected to your yes. Now I want you to think about no. So bring to mind something you know is a no. Like no, 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 I don't like this, I don't want this. Bring to mind no. Where do you feel no? Stomach. It's like a gut, chest. Ugh. Up here too. Okay, so your body is a messenger, and it is constantly trying to tell you when something is a yes or something is a no. But given the high achieving nature of the humans in this room, I'm guessing you blaze right over the body's messaging and you say yes, even when you know it's a no. So I want you to think about tuning in before you keep saying yes to everything. Check with your body. Pause long enough to ask yourself, is this right for me? Might be right for somebody else, but that does not mean you have to say yes to everything. So I put up on the slide, I love this. If it's not a frack yes, then it's a no. So using your power to say no more often to the things that actually don't line up with your heart and soul. All right. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to, this is quick. You guys got to come back to me though. This is fast. This is like letting the kids out on the playground. Okay, here's what I want you to do. So I want you to stand up, and within wherever you are, I want you to high five 5 people and come back to your seat. Okay. So when we did that, what just shifted in the room? I gave you the answer before. Yes. So every single day when you wake up, you are tapping in to a certain amount of personal energy that you're given in a given day. How many of you have ever been in a meeting where somebody in that meeting was draining the life blood out of the room? Don't point at anybody, don't point at me. How many of you can think of a task that when you have to do it, it totally drains you? Put me in an Excel spreadsheet, I'm out. I'm out. I know some of you love that crap, I don't. Think of a person when you're with them. I can think of even John, our friend John over here. Like when you're with him, what do you feel after you get done talking to him? Energy, right? Power, energy, all of that. So our energy is going like this all throughout the day, and it has been said that managing energy is more important than managing time. Let me say that again. Managing your personal energy, more important than managing your time. So if you notice that your energy was down and you needed to go do something, what could you do for yourself in order to refill and give yourself some energy back? What's that? Play. Music, movement. Breathe. Thank you. Power nap. Hug the kids, hug the dog, pet the dog. Chocolate. I was like, come on, people, chocolate. Walk, move. So you're doing these things, but when you can intentionally be aware of it, it's like, wow, I'm down right now in energy. I need a little hit. Then you can go access, maybe it's a funny video or your favorite song or just whatever you can do to get yourself back in to your energy. So your energy, when you think of even the oak tree, like everything that's making that oak tree possible is rooted in energy. So your energy is a really, really big part of what keeps your base strong. So I want you to think about how can I tend to that energy when I need to. Energy is life. So it is what keeps you going. So the more we can tend to it, manage it, we can keep doing what we need to do in the world. Okay, managing your energy, more important than managing your time. Okay, let's see what the next thing is here for us to do. Okay, this one, I want you to, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna find a partner. Now, everything about this needs to be swift because Jason talked for 15 minutes into my section. So you guys have to help me get through this. Okay, so I want you to find a partner and do it quietly, and I'm gonna give you instructions. So find one person you can stand next to, and I'm gonna give you instructions. Stand up, find a partner, Don't get all talky, just do this quick. Okay, listen up. Raise your hand if you don't have a partner. In the back, in the front. So, no, you need to have a partner. Here he comes. He made it. Okay, here we go. Okay, partner A is the one that has the most hair. Okay, raise your hand. Raise your hand if you're partner A. Raise your hand if you're partner A. Okay, partner A, you are going to smile at partner B. Partner B, you cannot respond. You have to keep a straight face. And you have 10 seconds. On your mark, get set, go. Okay, stop. All right, stop. Okay, partner B, you're smiling. Partner A, no smiling. On your mark, get set, go. Okay, stop. Stop. Okay, have a seat. That might be the worst attempt I've ever seen at not smiling. Was anybody good at this? Did anybody, where are the stoics in the room? You did well? Okay, couple people, okay. What's the point of this? Okay, here's the thing. Here's what's important to know about this. As human beings that are wired for connection, we have something in our brain called mirror neurons, which means we are mimicking the people around us all the time. So take that for a second, and now I want you to shift, and I want you to think about the top 5 people you spend the most time with. You could even write it down if you were so compelled. You are the sum total of those 5 people. So this matters because when it comes to well-being, when it comes to energy, when it comes to all of these things, the people that you're with are influencing you. Now, every time I talk about this, somebody always, it's like clockwork. Somebody always comes up to me at the end and says, "What do I do? My sister is the worst." Don't ask me that. I don't know what you're supposed to do about that. But it is, families included. There's a lot of people, if you think about who your people are. The reason I wanted to bring this up is so that you could think about your circle. We're here today with all of these awesome people, but when we go home, that's not always true. Sometimes we have control over it, sometimes we don't. So I want you to consider who are your top 5. And I'm not asking you to kick people out of the house, but just to consider what impact are these 5 people having on me as a human being and on my base. When you come back to the root and to the foundation that we're trying to stand on and be solid, are you surrounded by the right people? I've stunted everybody. Give me a response to this. Thoughts? How does this relate for you? Is everybody freaking out? Go ahead.
I think I'm at a redesign moment with this because I'm in transition.
Okay.
If I don't think about my family, then I'm not a woman where I can choose this. Or really thoughtfully relationships.
So you're at a point, I don't know if everybody could hear, but at a point in transition where your people are actually shifting. One of the hardest parts of my life was leaving corporate America because I loved being in the office. I know my Thomson Reuters friends are here, but like I was at my absolute best when I was in that building with the humans. Well, now I'm with my dog in my office at home by myself. Very different. So transitions, we have to really be intentional about how do we put our people around us so that we can elevate. Go ahead.
Two thoughts that this brings up. One,
oh, thank you, Katie.
so there's two. Is that on?
It's muted.
How's that? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so there's two thoughts that this brings up. One, COVID really messed with
Did a number
this.
on us. Yep.
I loved being on meetings when everybody was camera on because you feed off of that energy. And when that didn't happen, you felt that drain. But the other thing is I recognize that I'm inherently usually a smiley, happy person. And so I'm one of the 5 that brings the others up. And so I have to be intentional about who those other people are for me.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. One more? Go ahead. She's risking life and limb.
So the way that I look at it, it's also how important we are for those 4 other people or 5 people around us. In other ways, we can really lift them and empower them. And I guess that's the bottom line of what I'm also hearing here, who we are for each other. So I think we can also generate ourselves to be very intentional and be there for others, which is always something that I know lifts all of us up.
Absolutely. How many of you ever walked into your house and could immediately sense the energy in the house the second you stepped over the threshold? So energy, whether you realize it or not, it's moving all the time. Like we can't stop it. Like we said before, it's our life. People have energy, they take it, they leave it. All the different things are always happening. My point of sharing this is that can you be more intentional about it? Now that we can be together, we can be in person, we can actually connect and network and do things like this. This is going, how many of you will have your bucket filled, your energy load will be filled from this experience today? I know the introverts are like, no, but that's okay too. You're going to get some good things out of it. Okay, good. Okay, here's another thing. So I'm gonna tell you something quick about this that, so as human beings, let's see how to phrase this. We have a tendency to put our nose into business that is not ours. And what that does is it drains you. So when you get in and you try to control other people's programs, whether it's your kids, whoever, your colleagues, whatever, fill in the blank, you end up spending a lot of energy trying to control things that actually aren't yours. At the end of the day, what do you really have control over? Myself. And if we have control over ourselves, what does that include? Say again, say louder. Your how you react to things. What you say. What you're getting involved in. Choices. How you feel, your feelings, how you treat people. All of that is within your own control. About 3 weeks ago, I got a text from my neighbor. And I'm not the type of neighbor who I actually have, this may make me sound bad, but like I have boundaries with neighbors. Like I never wanted to have 50 kids at my house. Like I wanted to be able to come home from work and have my family. And so I have boundaries with my neighbors. And my neighbor across the street texted me 3 weeks ago and said, we're having some special guests to the house this weekend. Would you be willing to pick up the stick in your front yard because we want it to look neat and tidy? Really? So bad. So anyway, she likes to have control, clearly, and that stick was bothering her. And so she decided to leave her lane and get into mine. So I want you to think about, as you're going about your day-to-day, is focusing on what you have control of, which is just you and what you do. Other people, every time you try to get into somebody else's business, you lose energy because you truly can't control that. I knew you were going to, Kathleen, darn you. She said, did you move the stick? Well, Corey, I wanted to tell her to frack off. I didn't, but I did not move the stick. But we can talk about that after. This lady I'm working with, you probably all know her, Kathy Paper. She's helping me with marketing, and she's like, that just doesn't sound like you, that you wouldn't go and move the stick. I'm like, don't start with me. Okay, stay in your own lane. Do what you can from where you are, your own lane. Okay, so one of the other things that we've all heard a million times and we know that it matters is this whole idea of gratitude. So if you are like me, sometimes in this entrepreneur, fractional, different life that we're all trying to live, it can be super stressful. Our minds, I mean, talk about a mind game. I've never been in this level of a inner critic, self-doubt. Is it good enough? Am I worthy? All the things. It's just your mind takes over. And what I'm working on myself is trying to pitch towards noticing all the goodness that's happening as opposed to everything that's not happening. Because when you put your energy into what's good and seeing what's good, it expands. When you focus on everything that's not working or the clients you're not getting or not, that expands. So when you think of being grateful and every single day, how many of you are super good at patting yourself on the back and being like, I rocked that? Anybody good at that? Not one person in here? John, where's John? John, are you good at that, John? Are you good at, he's not even in this. Forget it. Okay, so, but seriously, I speak from experience of the whole taking yourself down and not being proud and not recognizing what you're doing. That does not work. That is not going to work. So to me, the commitment is to see the good so that you can get more of the good. What's that?
I'm great at that.
Okay, good. I was hoping. So just noticing where your perspective is tipped towards. Are you tipped towards not seeing it and not being good enough and not? Or are you tipped towards, I am so thankful and grateful that I get to do this thing for these people? Shifting into that more grateful, seeing the good mind. Got it? Okay. Question, how do these ideas apply to you and what you're doing in the world? So I am going to release you to talk to your neighbor again. 3 minutes. 3 minutes, have a chat with somebody close to you. How does this relate to you and your work? What are you connecting to right now? Did you get any smiling? Yeah.
But I could throw this flash on over there and just look at me and smile once in a while.
All right, stop. 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 Yeah, you got it, you got it. Katie, do we still have the microphone? Okay. Would love to hear from a couple people about your conversation. Anybody willing to share with the room what you talked about in your group? How does this relate to your work?
Hi.
Oh, hold on one second. Mike is right there, but it's coming to you next.
Hello. We talked a little bit about managing your energy when you're leading a team because your energy can be so contagious. One of the things that I did when I was leading a large team was pausing before I entered any room, whether that was physical or digital, and simply choosing, like, what energy am I bringing into this space? And sometimes I would have to, like, literally pretend I wasn't frenetic and chaotic, but at least then I mitigated my impact on other people's energy too.
Awesome. So we can take accountability for the energy we bring into the room and be intentional about it. Thank you for that.
Just ditto. That's exactly what.
Ditto. You guys were talking about energy too, and managing your energy. Okay. Another one? Right over here. Katie on the right, or in the back too.
Yeah, I realized on thinking about it that I actually do a decent job at see the good because my husband and I will say, hey, I want you to be proud of me. I did that task I've been afraid to do that I've been putting off, or I did a thing today that I felt really proud of, and then we celebrate each other's little wins. And even though it's small, it makes a difference because it makes you see those things and you have somebody to celebrate with you and be proud of you. So it's easier to do that than doing it by yourself, to have somebody to celebrate with you.
Awesome. Love that. Thank you. One more in the back. Did we have one more thought in the back?
You know, I really don't need
So one of the things around the see the good, and for anybody in the room who happens to know of this practice, it's the positive intelligence. And if you haven't heard of it, look it up, because it really is a complete mindset. And so when we talk about trying to see the good in any situation, and you can adopt a positive intelligence mindset and practice, it really helps. And then something that we had been talking about as well, maybe kind of the manage your energy or find the yes. For those of you who also haven't heard it, look up appreciative inquiry, because it really helps with your clients, and it helps to almost, because we're usually coming in as a change agent many times, and appreciative inquiry is always trying to find what's working, not what's not working. Of course, they hired us because it's not working, but usually you can come in with an appreciative inquiry mindset and practice, and again, help them find their yes. So this is just two things that we were talking about.
Thank you. Anybody else? We good? Got it? One more thing over here. You have a what? Is it? No, I was just going to say something. I'm not going to joke about it. Sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I am taking away from all of this how important it is to really set the day with intention, because that then just feeds into everything I do and then how I engage with my clients. So the new word is frackitude.
Oh, yay! Frackitude. There you go. Love that. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so one of the things that I believe deeply in when you're learning, so you guys have been learning for 2 days, you're going to learn more today. If you leave here and you don't take action on what you've learned, you may not you should have just stayed home to begin with. So action is how you actually reinforce your learning. So you're learning a whole bunch of things. Now it's about taking action against what you've taken away from this experience. So what I want you to think about right now, and get out something to write, I want you to write down at least one thing that you're going to do as a result of all of these things we talked about today. What is one thing you can commit to? I don't care how small it is. I don't care if it's walk around the block. I don't care if it's eat an apple. Just one thing that you're going to do as a result of this conversation. Take a second and write that down. And you could even use the words I will. I will do what with what I learned today? Anybody willing to share? Just throw it at me. We don't need the mic. Go ahead.
So I think one of the reasons I'm here is because I'm tired of the transactional nature of the consulting engagements that I often have. And the fractional idea to me is really about meeting those wellness needs, about the things that feed me, and I think where I operate best. And it's in ongoing relationships with taking people to the next level in a constant, continual basis versus that project here, project there, project there. And so I'm going to make sure that my LinkedIn and other types of ways that I'm marketing myself out there describe those types of engagements so that when those people see it, that it feels connected to them as well, right? So I stop bringing in people that are looking for piecemeal work and bring in people that want that true fractional kind of continuous relationship.
So you're getting some clarity about your approach to your business. That's cool. That's rooted in how well you are, and you get to bring that to your clients. Did I sum that? Change it if I didn't sum it. Okay. What else? Thank you for that.
Mine was more simple. Walk 5 times a week.
Walk 5 times a week. Thank you, and yes. What else?
Turn off my phone 2 hours before I'm going to bed.
Turn on. We're going to come over and check. You promise? Your little baby, well, she's probably in bed, but yes. So 2 hours before bed, he's going to turn off his phone. Love that. What else? Go ahead.
I'm going to cancel something I scheduled this week so that I actually have time to rest.
You're going to cancel something you scheduled so that you can rest because it's not a frack yes. Right? Okay.
It's not our meeting.
Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm going to schedule that test once a month.
Okay.
So that it's top of mind, the pieces that are maybe going down or are up, so that helps build clarity into the month ahead.
So the assessment we did, I'll give it to you. It's coming up here in a second. Have that with you. Give it to your friends, your family, check in with your people. How are your top 5 people doing in their well-being numbers? Maybe you can team up and do some shared accountability, and so check on yourself. Absolutely. Go ahead in the back.
So Tara's social media calendar, and I will absolutely tag her in every day for the next month.
Okay, say that again so I can hear that. Or there we go. There's the mic.
Thank you. So Tara's social media calendar. Every day, she'll get tagged, and that's what I'm going to do.
I love that. I love that. Tag it up. Anybody else? Go ahead.
Bring back a practice that I used to have where I end my day journaling and acknowledging my gains for the day. I read a great book called Gain Not a Gap.
Gain Not a Gap book.
So our brains are really built from the evolution to really look and make more impactful things that are not working and the fear to survive, right? So it's how we were designed to survive, but it's not working for us when we're really trying to, push forward and bear is chasing us, right?
Yes.
So putting that practice in place has made a big difference, and I stopped it because that's what happens,
Well,
go back to a default, but that's what I would do.
Back to it. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. We're wired to look at things that are negative just to stay safe. So it takes 5 positives to outweigh 1 negative. So if you're going to watch negative news, you need to do 5 positive things to counteract it every time you watch it. It's exhausting. I mean, that's a lot, right? So be noticing what you're taking in and what you have to do to overcome it if it's negative. Okay, so let me put this up so you have the QR code. You can get all of the PDF and everything from there. And I hope that all of this content is going to allow you to think about that base. So if you think about what you're rooted in, what you're standing on, what is your firm base, your environment, the people you're with, how you use your own resources and energy to impact and serve the world, continue to tend to your own well-being in your own state so that you can grow and then you can serve. So thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to connecting with you in all the ways. I would be honored to have your referrals. I am a speaker and a coach, and really just helping the world build that strong base so that they can do what they're meant to do in the world. So thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you, Tiffany. Another big hand for Tiffany, everybody. Wasn't that great? That was fantastic. John, make your way up here. Okay, so did you know, I don't know if you noticed or not, but I was looking at the well-being list, and the only thing that what I did not see up there was work. Play, but not work. Well, I'm going to have to think about my well-being this week. All right, so we're going to do something fun right now, okay? So we're really excited about all of you here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little picture of all of us, all right? So hold tight and put on your best-looking face.
Now we're going to do one more. With everybody grab your phone out and take a picture of us, taking a picture of ourselves, and we're going to split the universe. And we don't even know what kind of energy that's going to create.
Wait. To clarify this, turn around and take a selfie with the person next to you with us in the background. This is good that you use your selfie skills. These are important skills. This is fun stuff. All right. So
you want us to do it ourselves?
yeah, let's get a thing. All right, 1, 2, 3. Well done. All right, now, post that on... I got a microphone. What am I shouting for? Post that on LinkedIn and hashtag it FRAC2023. Post that on your LinkedIn. You're going to make all your LinkedIn people jealous. Like, oh, you get to be at a fun thing on a rainy day in Minnesota. I'm here sitting here doing whatever I'm doing, and I'm not there. So post that on LinkedIn, and we will be golden. Thank you very much, John.
Do one more for him, I guess.
Oh.
I'll do my selfie. You got your phone. Okay, yeah. It's a picture of, it's a selfie from a photographer of guys taking a selfie.
This is the professional picture of two guys doing a selfie.
Yeah. Got it.
Okay.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well done, everybody. Well done. Now, coming up, at lunch. We have a very special guest. John is going to be doing a fireside chat conversation with Amanda Brinkman at lunch today. And Amanda is really extraordinary because Amanda is into television. And Amanda has created a show that shows the world a little bit of what a fractional executive looks like and is doing and the difference it's making. Maybe not in the context that you're working, but essentially when you look at this and see this, you're going to see this is another version of what this is and what we're doing and bringing this to television. And so we're going to show you a little bit of a snapshot of what that looks like in anticipation of our fireside chat coming up at lunchtime. Did you see that crowd? What a way to be a fractional professional, huh? Hello, I'm here, everyone. Welcome. As thousands of your clients all cheer for you as you walk in. So she's going to be sharing with us coming up at lunch. Right now, we have a fantastic panel discussion that's about to start. So let me let you know where your choices are. So first off, we have small business problem solving, discussing current challenges with fractional executives, moderated by Keith Lauver. If I said that right, I'll apologize later if I said it wrong. And that's in the FinLab. So if that is your peak interest, you can pick up your things and you may head upstairs to the FinLab. Right up here on the stage, we are going to be having, talking about scaling your fractional practice with intention and ways to do it so it doesn't get out of hand or you don't get doing projects that you don't want to be doing, or so it looks the way that you want it to look and it's supporting your life going forward. And that's going to be with Steph Tashita right here. So you may go ahead and break for the FinLab if you want. Find a better seat if you're staying here. And I'm looking forward to inviting Steph and her panelists up here. So